Caldwell, along with Outkick host and Fox News contributor Tomi Lahren. Both of you, welcome. Tomi, to you first. I just want to get your reaction to a closing argument 7 days away from election, and she's not doing it in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. She's back in D.C. making this closing argument to the American people. How does this play?
Well, it's pretty tone deaf, but I wouldn't expect anything else from the Kamala Harris campaign. And I'm sure she's trying to do it to once again conjure up images of January 6th. But I've said this to you guys before. The American people are struggling right now, and it takes a certain amount of privilege to think about January 6th every day. Nearly 4 years ago, the American people have bigger fish to fry than thinking about January 6th. So if that's her closing argument, is that once again Donald Trump and his supporters are fascists and they're Nazis, that's a pretty poor closing argument to make. It's a flimsy one. It's a pathetic one. She still can't articulate her policies and her plans for the American people or what her vision would be. She can't sit down for a 3-hour podcast with Joe Rogan, even though she's hemorrhaging male voters. This is all she's got in the tank, even though she's got $1 billion in the bank. Oh boy, that sounds like a failing candidate to me.
Well, they can't spend the money running ads with her in it, because the more they do that, her approval ratings are collapsing. And this is since the DNC, and her disapproval is rising, Gianno. But President Trump's going to be in Allentown at 2 separate rallies. The Democrat mayor of Allentown said on Fox News earlier today, President Trump said some pretty vile and racist things about the island of Puerto Rico. Well, that's a lie. No, he didn't. It was a comedian, and Puerto Rico was the punchline of a joke that didn't land. And I will argue right here that this actually, the outrage, the asymmetrical outrage on the left and the just pearl clutching actually helps this campaign, because it just shows you how the elites will stop at nothing to unseat him and keep him out of power and basically keep him from benefiting the American people.
Well, I was at that Trump rally on Sunday in Madison Square Garden. I didn't hear the comedian. I came after that, but I heard many serious speakers who talked about how we can unite our country and, from a policy perspective, move it into a future that's greater than the one we had before. And I can agree with that positive sentiment across the Republican Party, uniting people like Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and many, many others into this party. Many working class union members, Democrats, working white people, Latinos, and African Americans. This Republican Party is one like we've never seen before, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Democrats are panicking. What they realize now is they picked the wrong person to run this race. They should have kept Joe Biden. She's underperforming Joe Biden, again, with African Americans, Latinos, working class whites, and union people. It is a disaster campaign for them. So sure, whatever negativity they can find, they're gonna pluck it and run it on the front page of every newspaper if they can. But what they realize is Kamala Harris will lose this election come this coming Tuesday.
They switched out the candidates, but didn't switch out the issues. And again, that was an opportunity to go, you know what, I disagree with Joe Biden on this, I disagree with him on that, we'll modify this. They've done none of that. She's basically advocated to the American people, hook, line, and sinker, the Joe Biden agenda, which is what America hates. Let's move to this, though, Tomi, because the party who can't say what a woman is certainly wants to tell us what a man is.
I've noticed this especially with some men who seem to think Trump's behavior is somehow a sign of strength. You know, sort of the macho, fake macho thing. And, you know, I'm here to tell you that's not what real strength is.
Strength is when you get shot in the face and you stand up and go fight, fight, fight. That is strength. But according to Julia Roberts, conservative men are so macho their wives should know it's okay to hide your votes from your husband.
You can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Okay, Tomi, I don't know if they think this is like 1950s, 1960s, but I'm sure men and women who have different political opinions are not afraid to debate them in their home and let their opinions be heard. How degrading to women that they have to hide their votes from their husbands.
Exactly, Sean. This actually really ticks me off and it outrages me because this is how little Kamala Harris, who wants to be our first female president, this is how little her campaign thinks of women, that we have to hide our votes from our husbands because we don't have the empowerment to speak our minds. That's how little she thinks of American women and our voices and our ability to express ourselves. Quite frankly, I think it's beyond condescending and it's beyond insulting. But what's really peculiar to me about this entire campaign, from Barack to Michelle Obama to Kamala herself, is that they're browbeating voters. Now, you might hear Donald Trump say a lot of things about policy positions, about Joe Biden, about Kamala Harris, but he doesn't browbeat voters. He encourages them to vote for him. Right. This campaign is taking a very weird turn, even worse than Hillary's deplorables comment of 2016. Let's see how it works out for him.
Yeah, I kind of think Redneck, Rube, Hayseed, and Hick, that being called a Nazi is worse than that. But Gianno, final word to you on this. But all of these female Kamala supporters worried about the ability to basically kill a baby up until the 9th month. They haven't said jack all about dead women and children because of the open border or the financial suffering and hardship that every American's experienced, or working American, for the last 4 years. But, you know, now they get upset about a joke punchline. Final word.
Well, the fact of the matter is they don't have policy to truly run on. If she was so great and she was doing so well, do it now. Check off that list now. That's not going to happen. So in other words, the joy dust that Oprah Winfrey tried to sprinkle on Kamala Harris, it didn't work out.
Gianno, Caldwell, Tomi Lahren, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.